Chapter 11. The reporters could hear fighting going on outside in the corridor and anxiously tried to ask the president as to what was going on, especially since they could see that dozens of CIA agents were running out into the corridor and came back like beaten soldiers. Should they be worried? But the president insisted, no, there was nothing to worry about.
Mrs. President, I've the feeling that you're hiding something, one of the reporters said.
Please,
the president laughed.
When have you ever known me to cover something up?
Reporters nodded. That was true. When had they ever known the president to cover something up? The president was somewhat of an angel in that respect. The doors blew up. A wild howl broke out when the reporters saw it was me. More people turned around in their seats.
Look, it's Sir Lanka.
Finally, I didn't want to say anything, but this began to be really embarrassing.
The CIA agents didn't dare to touch me. They knew they couldn't do anything to me while the whole world press was watching us. They just let me walk up to the President of the United States. She looked absolutely terrified and just handed over the lectern to me. I'd deal with her later. Hi, everyone. Sorry I'm late. There was something important that I had to take care of, but enough about that. Let's kickstart the press conference with the first question. Anyone? Don't be shy. I promise to answer the question no matter what it is.
I have a question.
Yes?
Sir Lanka, where were you? We were worried.
No comments. Next question? Yes? Abdul Rahman al-Sharqawi, Al Jazeera. Sri Lanka, the war in Egypt has been going on for more than 4 years. Hundreds of thousands of people have been killed. What is your solution to finally bring peace to the Middle East? That is very easy, I said. The president had stolen that expression from me. I decided to always start like that, to radiate confidence. They simply have to stop fighting. The reporters looked confusedly at one another. What did I mean by that? But they wrote it down anyway. To stop a war, you simply have to stop fighting. They would probably have to take it all back to the editors, think and really analyze what I meant by that. The camera switched over to the commentator studio.
Professor, what did Sir Lanka mean by that?
I have no idea.
Finally, there was a brave young reporter who dared to stand up and say,
But Sir Lanka, you can't just end a war by stopping fighting.
Of course you can, I said, determined. That's literally how you stop a war. You stop fighting.
No,
the reporter said, and sounded a bit nervous and sarcastic at the same time.
I have a master's degree in global conflict resolution. I'm telling you, that's not how it works. You have to start to investigate the historical background to the conflict. Is there any cultural or political tension between the groups that are fighting? And then you have to negotiate. It may sound obvious, but sometimes you have to take into account that the people who are fighting don't even want to sit in the same room at first. Sometimes you have to negotiate for several days before they even agree to sit face to face.
And then you negotiate how you're going to stop fighting?
Yes.
And why don't you just stop fighting, instead of talking about how you're going to stop fighting?
Because it doesn't work like that.
Well, I said, I promise that if you apply my new revolutionary method and simply stop the fighting every time it happens, I promise you that it will work every time.
No, that's not how it works.
No, it's you who've gotten it all wrong. I know it's so revolutionary that it's hard to take in, but if only everyone would stick to my rule, all wars in the world would end.
But
no, I do not want to listen to your stupidity anymore. Next question. Next question, please.
Okay, I've got a question,
said a woman in a red dress.
I got a PhD in philosophy. I've been thinking about this so much, but I still have not been able to figure it out. What is the meaning of life?
That's very easy. The meaning of life is to be happy. Everybody looked peculiarly at each other again. Like, really? That was supposed to be my brilliant answer? The meaning of life is to be happy? Any idiot could figure that out.
But there must be something more than that,
the woman in the red dress said. No, I said, suddenly a bit unsure, because everyone seemed so disappointed, like they were expecting so much more. That's all there is.
Oh, okay.
What? Is there something wrong?
No,
she said.
I guess I just expected something more than that, that's all.
She sat down again. But I mean, what did you expect?
But I don't know. I don't know what I expected. If I had known that, I wouldn't have to, but just something more.
Well, that's all there is. To be happy. And if you're not happy with that, then you know what? You're just like that other reporter. You expect it to be so complicated that when somebody presents the perfect solution to you, it's too simple for you to even take it seriously. You want to sit under some tree and contemplate when the solution is right in front of you. Just to be with the ones you love. And always share your food with others. That is probably the most important tip I can give to someone,
I always share my food with my cat.
said a woman who wanted everyone to know that she shared her food. Now that it turned out that sharing food was the most important tip for a happy life, and she wanted everyone to know she lived a happy life.
I usually make grilled salmon and then I give Missy a big piece, light a candle and eat while Missy's eating from her bowl across the table.
Good for you, I said. See, that's what I mean by a happy life. And you love your cat?
Oh yes, very much.
There you go. Thank you. So, are there any more questions? No one? Come on. I could see how some got up and started walking towards the door. Excuse me, where are you going? They were obviously too far away for me to hear what they said, so they just walked out. Fortunately, there was someone else who stood up.
I have something I would like to ask.
It was a young guy, with short tousled hair and glasses. Yes!
My name is Abram. I am 13 years old. I've been a huge fan of yours ever since I was 6.
I'm glad to hear that.
And I always told my classmates that I wanted it to be you who would take my virginity.
I'm especially glad to hear that.
But now almost everyone in my class has lost their virginity, and everyone is just teasing me because I'm still a virgin, so I can't wait until I'm 17. I have to get laid now. So I wonder if you want to have sex with me now, instead of on my 17th birthday? I know my classmates would die of envy if I could prove that I lost my virginity to you.
Oh, yes, of course, anything for a fan. You know what we could do? We could make a porno. And none of those amateur ones. I mean a professional one, in a studio with lighting and a script. People started booing when it dawned on them what I had said. I got into some defense mode. What? Did you think I meant that I would make a porno with a 13-year-old here in New York? Of course that was not what I meant. The reporters had already posted their breaking news. Sir Lanka is a pedophile on the live feed when I said, Stop. What I meant, of course, was that we would go to a country where it is legal for an adult man to have sex with a 13-year-old and record the porno there.
Aha!
All the reporters said.
Why didn't you say that at first?
Yeah, that totally changes everything. People nodded. That changes everything.